Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. I'm your host, Joe Garcia, and today we got a lot of things to talk about. One of those things, as soon as I woke up this morning, turned on the TV, and what do I see? The NFL getting sued by a former NFL network reporter by the name of Jim Trotter. I saw Roger Goodell this morning on the four-letter network talking with Screaming A. Smith, trying to defend the accusations, so to speak. But they're doing full-on damage control, it looks like. And, this is a discussion I think that a lot of people have had for quite some time, stating that, the NFL might be kind of racist in a way because there's not a lot of minority owners in the NFL, and there's not a lot of minority coaches in the NFL. And now you have this coming out as well. The NFL again getting sued by a former NFL Network reporter, Jim Trotter. The allegations, you can go ahead and check those out. I'm just looking at Yahoo Sports for reference here, and they are quite lengthy. He was saying that he's kind of gotten retaliation because he went ahead and, let's say he approached and asked some questions about some questionable comments being made, in particular by Cowboys owner Jerry Jones and Bills owner Terry Pegula in retaliation to the lawsuit. So there's a lot of things going on in this. I mean, you can go ahead and check out the full story again. It's on Yahoo Sports, and I'm not going to say exactly what he's saying because that's pretty bad. Some of the, I guess, the comments that he's being quoted on. But just go and check this out. In the lawsuit, Trotter says that he was let go from the NFL Network after he asked Roger Goodell about the NFL's record on race, discrimination, and lack of diversity. Trotter, who has worked for the NFL Network, claims that he is in good standing with the league as of last November, when the NFL Vice President of On-Air Talent Management, Sandy Nunes, reportedly told Trotter's agent there wasn't any reason why his contract would not be renewed, and it was ultimately not renewed. So go ahead and check that out. Again, this is a story that's breaking, and it's been all over the airwaves here, and also on TV, circulating everywhere from the four-letter network on ESPN to FS1. Another thing that I want to talk about here is I just saw this, and we were talking about this, I believe yesterday. I was talking with Chris Leja and also with Michael Jimenez. And this was in regards to the NFL using artificial turf and what it means to the players who have to play on that, because there's a lot of injuries when they're going ahead and getting on this artificial turf. And they just had this excerpt that I saw from Adam Schefter. Then he's saying that the NFL's new executive director, Lloyd Howell, he said that all NFL stadiums need to have natural gas. And this is the excerpt. I'm going to share the screen with you guys. NFLPA Executive Director Lloyd Howell's statement on NFL field surfaces, moving all stadium fields to high quality natural grass surfaces, is the easiest decision the NFL can make. The players overwhelmingly prefer it, and the data is clear. The grass is simply safer than artificial turf. That's what we were talking about the other day. We're just discussing this. And you just had this one injury that occurred on Monday Night Football to Aaron Rodgers. So there is an issue with this artificial turf. He goes on to say, it is an issue that has been near the top of the players' list during my team visits, and one I have raised with the NFL. While we know that there is an investment to making this change, there is a bigger cost to everyone in our business if we keep losing our best players to unnecessary injuries. It makes no sense that stadiums can flip over to superior grass surfaces when the World Cup comes, or soccer clubs come to visit for an exhibition games in the summer. But inferior artificial surfaces are unacceptable for our own players. This is worth the investment, and it simply needs to change now. Well, I think that's kind of too little too late now, because now you have a lot of these NFL players that are going to go ahead and start the season. There's nothing they can do about it. And most of them are going to be playing on artificial turf. And as you've seen, you get a lot of ankle injuries. You get Achilles tears, like what happened with Aaron Rodgers. So this is something that the NFL definitely needs to look into here because, again, you don't want to have your best players or in players in general having injuries due to the turf that they're playing on. So again, let's see what becomes of this. But in other news here, I'm looking at the MLB standings again because we have the highly contested race here in the AL West between the Astros and the Texas Rangers. So as of this morning or right now, real time here, looking at the standings of the AL West, you have the Houston Astros at the top of the division. They're followed closely by the Texas Rangers, who are 2 games behind them, tied with the Seattle Mariners. So this is still a hot race here. And the Astros have a game later on today against the Oakland Athletics. And so do the Texas Rangers. They're going to be playing the Toronto Blue Jays or later on today. And we got some comments here already. Christopher Leja says, a little late today, but then fucking Astros are killing me. He's saying because the Astros lost the other day to the Oakland Athletics. And Tim Gonzalez says, what's good, Joe? What's good, Tim? Mike Jimenez, Rangers 4 straight. The Rangers are starting to win, and now it's the Astros who drop one. But, there's still 2 games up on the Rangers, and it's, again, it's a highly contested race here. So things are going to get really, really interesting. And we do have some Thursday night football coming up here tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and share the screen with you guys. That way you can go ahead and preview the game with us here. See if I can even bring up the damn thing. The one that I want. Here it is. Got it. So we have the Vikings versus the Eagles on Thursday night football. And you can go ahead and see this on Amazon Prime Video. I know our boy Brandon Big Papi Medina is a big Vikings fan. And pour some out for him because the Vikings lost against the Buccaneers the other day. And then the Eagles, they won their game against the Patriots. That was a really hard-fought victory. Eagles winded up beating the Patriots 25-20. So let's see if the Vikings can kind of redeem themselves here. But I don't know, man. Vikings lost 20-17 against the Buccaneers, against Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. So you're going up against a better quarterback and a better team. I don't think it's going to end up well for the Minnesota Vikings. They can be looking at the season going down 2 games real quick here. Not good when you're trying to go ahead and win your division. Look at this, Chris Leja. All of a sudden, Mike wanted to talk shit. Been hella quiet, then talking, now talking. Oh, man. It says, plus college football on Thursday night. Yeah, Tim, we do have college football coming up on Thursday night. Chris Leja, he says, bro, just pitiful as fuck, but it's all good. They'll bounce back. Got to get the dub tonight. That they do, man. They got to get that win against the A's. I mean, come on. You're playing the A's, man. You should be able to get this. Should be an easy win. Chris says, Eagles by 10. Hanover Fist goes, what's happening, JG? What's happening, man? Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys, just tuning in and interacting with me here in the chat. Greatly appreciate that. We're going to have Jeff Garcia here joining us in the next couple of minutes. He's going to be talking about all things Spurs, and we do have some news to talk about in that regards as well. It looks like the Spurs are partnering with, I think it was Methodist Health. So they just have released a press release in regards to that and their partnership and what that means. We'll kind of talk with that, with Jeff Garcia. New rule changes here in the NBA that are going to be coming up, and how's that going to affect the San Antonio Spurs moving forward into the regular season? Don't think it's going to affect us that much. Let's go ahead and put it like that. So we're going to talk about that. Look at Mike. Who's getting day drunk with me for Friday's UTSA game? I don't know, man, but Mike, put down the phone, bro. Just put down the phone. Jonathan C. Astros really lost to the A's with Verlander on the mound. Trash. It happens, man. You should not be losing to the Oakland Athletics. Let's just put it like that. That shit pissed me off at Jonathan. How do you waste a start like that? Man, Astros fans were all riding high. Now you get one loss here against the A's, and now the sky's falling again. it is what it is, man. You know, the Rangers, they've won 4 games in a row. Astros dropped one against the A's. It's all good. Hopefully the Astros can go ahead and redeem themselves and get a dub tonight against the A's. All will be right with the world, and they can get some breathing room between, them and, of course, the Rangers. Rangers and the Mariners are probably going to be battling it out there for second place there. It's 2 losses, bro. I forgot about that. Yeah, it is 2 losses. I just remembered that. You're correct. So let me go ahead and play this little ad real quick before we go ahead and get Jeffrey Garcia on the line here. So since Chris Leja is in the chat, what better ad read to play than MCS General Contracting? MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leja over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. And like we always say, man, MCS General Contracting got the hardest concrete in the business, man, no doubt. Chris Leja is always saying that over here in the chat. I'm waiting for him to pop in and say something about that. Look, we have a comment here from Tim Gonzalez. He says, Anish Shroff and Andrade Ware will call the Army versus UTSA game this Friday night on ESPN. Yeah, I saw that, man. I liked your tweet. And Hanover Fest was it Smoke Barbecue pre-gaming before UTSA Texas State last week? Somebody keep an eye on Mike, man. If you see him out there at the tailgate, man, take away his phone. The voice of the voices, Chris Leja. Appreciate it, big bro. Biggest decks in the game, diamond hard. Chris Leja, man, he always cracks me up here in the chat, dude. Yeah, so we got, like I said, Spurs news to get into here. I don't know if you all saw, but they had a video that was circulating on social media of Victor Wembanyama, man. He was going ahead and doing some stretches, keeping himself in shape there. I mean, the guy was just unreal, man. He was like a contortionist out there stretching himself out. Good to see that for him, man. You want to see him doing what he needs to do to keep himself in peak physical condition to start his rookie year, because he's going to be in the conversation, no doubt, for that Rookie of the Year, let's say, award. So it's going to be interesting to see how all these stretches and all that help with his longevity. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Jeff. What's up, Jeff? You hear me, Jeff? Don't tell me you're already having technical issues. Jeff, are you there? I think we're losing Jeff, man. I'm going to have to call him back. Can't hear you, Jeff. Let me try calling him again. He's trying to call in, and I missed his call, so couldn't hear him, though. We'll bring him in right now. Just bear with me for about a minute. Hey, Jeff, do you hear us? Bringing you in, Jeff. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. Yeah, you just cut off on me. Jeff, Jeef, are you there? You keep... I'm going to tell him, you keep cutting out on us, man. All right, Jeff, let's try
Test. Does this work?
Yeah, it's working, man.
Are you surprised? Tech issues?
No, I'm not surprised. Tech issues. Everybody's seeing that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody should be surprised at all.
Yeah, look at this. We got some conversation going already.
What are they saying?
Moneybags is probably busy with the steak. Can you hear
me? No way. Not yet. Although now I'm craving one now.
It says, can you hear me now? Good. Hashtag Verizon.
I remember that commercial. Wasn't it with like some guy just wandering around like a mall or
Can you hear
streets?
me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, and then he was working for Sprint, and now that's defunct. So I think he's now working for T-Mobile or something, because I think it was T-Mobile who brought up Sprint. But Christopher Leja says Moneybags needs to get better service.
See, I told you I'm not Moneybags. If I was, I would have had a great service, but I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
But then again, I've always had tech issues. I mean, Joe, you can educate everybody about that.
Well, we got to put up the graphics since you're joining us right now. You're gracing us with your presence. But I wanted to go ahead and get into a discussion here, because I saw something that you posted earlier today, and that was a new partnership with, I said it was Methodist, but it's UT Health. So the San Antonio has a new multi-year partnership with UT Health. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, a new partnership, local. So no more, moving to Austin. It's UT Health San Antonio. It's a multi-year partnership. And it's not just the partnership with the Spurs, but the goal is also to help the San Antonio community health-wise. And how they're going to do that is with a new program that's going to be starting up soon. We're on the community health programming. It's called Know Your Numbers, and it's going to be launched in the coming months. So basically, it's just a way for you to assess your own health awareness, and encourages you to get into healthy behaviors and a lifestyle. So it is a partnership with the Spurs, but from there, it's going to branch off into community outreach and whatnot. The Spurs also announced a new medical team, a doctor, Guy Nicolette. He's with UT San Antonio. So he is now the Spurs' new go-to doc. And for those of you who are wondering about, the old timers, the Dr. David Schmidt and Paul Saenz, well, they're going to be having a reduced role now. So this is a sign of how things are changing. 3 decades, David Schmidt and Paul Saenz with his team doctors. That's pretty much all but over. They're going to be lingering a bit. They're going to assist the Spurs moving forward, and also collaborate with the new doctor. But this is part of the transition into the new chapter of the Spurs history. So, Joe, I mean, from top to bottom, this franchise is making a whole new leaf turn into the new era, Joe.
Yeah, it's for a new generation. You got all these young players now moving into a world-class facility. Some changes got to be made, Jeff,
Yeah, that facility is not ready yet. I'm hearing that for Spurs Media Day will probably not be at the new place. It's probably going to be at the old one, gym, where they are now. So looks like they're still a few months away before the new facility gets opened up.
Yeah, Mike Bias is saying you should start your own sales service and call it Jefe Mobile.
That's a good one. And
Jonathan,
Joe, I would go to you to help me do all the tech stuff, though.
Yeah. Jonathan C is saying, what about Dr. Candace? I think you were just talking about that.
Dr. Candace?
Yeah. I think
No. I'm talking about Dr. Nicolette. That's the new team doctor. And then the last doctor the Spurs had for the last 3 decades, Schmidt and Saenz, they're going to be stepping aside slowly.
Yeah, as
Nicolette does his transition. But no, I mean, R.C. Buford put out a press statement too, saying it's UT Health San Antonio and Spurs Sports Entertainment, is going to help with health progress in San Antonio, reduce health inequities. So a lot of good, and then just another local company, another local corporation chipping in. They're looking for Frost Bank. Local bank. They're the new naming rights to the Spurs home.
The new arena?
The new arena, yeah. And then this also just shows how much the Spurs are focusing on community health, because not only have this, but they haven't really made a big to-do about this, but everybody pretty much knows about it. There's a new dog park that the Spurs helped create and open up. And although you think dog park, okay, you take your pets there and let them run around. No, it's actually kind of a park for both the pet owners and the pets themselves. So there's like tracks and hiking trails and obstacle courses. And so Spurs are really looking out for the community, and can't blame them. No surprise there. They won the ESPN Humanitarian Award this past offseason for their helps in Uvalde.
Are you going to be getting a dog too, Jeff, when you move back here?
Was that again?
Are you going to be getting a pet, a dog, maybe a cat when you move back to San Antonio?
No, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. No.
No animals.
No animals. No, none whatsoever. I just don't have time, man. Between the new Wemby era and then, Locked On Spurs, Kens 5, then my other jobs, you gotta have some time for myself, and I just cannot devote time to a pet right now.
Hey, I want to go ahead and share this with you guys because I just got this email from the San Antonio Spurs. And basically what it is they're giving Spurs season ticket holders access already to go ahead and buy the tickets for the games that are going to be holding in Austin at the Moody Center Friday, March 15th and the 17th. So their March 15th game is going to be against the Denver Nuggets. The game on the 17th, which is on a Sunday, is going to be against the Brooklyn Nets. And they have a link and everything you can click on to go ahead and purchase your tickets. So I'm going to go ahead and show what the ticket prices are going for right now.
Here we go. Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
So it's like, okay, how much are the tickets going to cost you? If you're going over here and you're wanting to check out a game at the Moody Center. So when you click on that link, this is what you're brought to. You're brought to this page. So if you want to go ahead and buy tickets for the 15th, you're like, okay, I mean, go ahead and check that out. It starts at 7:00, right?
Sure. So
you can see that some of the tickets are already and some of the sections are already selling out. Like, of course, this prime seating center court, 107s, 108s, 120 through 118 through 120, all that prime real estate is selling out. They do have sections like 106, 104, 105 open, kind of in the corners. They're going for about $90. So if you want to sit,
this is for Austin, right?
This is not the
AT&T.
No, this is for the Austin game. So like if you're sitting in section 104, which is kind of what I was looking at, those are $100 a piece. Now, so you're looking at now, if you're going to want to go ahead and get a ticket in the lower bowl, it's about $90 to $100. Now, if you want to get into the upper bowl, the 200 sections, sections 206, 208, kind of, center court, those are about $60. And if you're going to be a little off-centered, you're looking at $50. So your ticket prices right now, pre-sale, are going to be going as low as $50 all the way up to about $100.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I thought it would be a little bit more, but I'm just showing Spurs fans what to expect when the tickets go on sale to the general public. Right now, if you're a season ticket holder, of course, you can go ahead and take advantage of this. But, I'm just letting everybody know this is what you're looking at as far as pricing for the games, just to go see the Spurs game in the Moody Center in Austin. That's not including your hotel fare, anything of that nature, so I'm sure that the hotel prices, if you haven't already reserved your room, and the closer you wait, the more expensive it's going to get. So if you plan on going, buy your tickets and immediately go and reserve your room. The longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to get. So that's one of the things that I wanted to kind of show everybody. But there's a new rule that's coming to effect here, Jeff, and that is the NBA Board of Governors, per Shams Charania. He said they approved a new policy that a team is unable to rest two star players in the same game moving forward. Multiple sources, he says, told him over there at the Athletic and Stadium, a star is defined as someone who has made the All-Star or All-NBA team in the past 3 seasons. That doesn't really affect the Spurs at this point.
Not at all. Yeah.
Not at all. So if the Spurs wanted to go ahead and rest Wembanyama, or let's say Keldon or Jeremy and, Zach, it doesn't really matter.
Joe Garcia. Good about him.
It doesn't matter at this point because they don't have an all-star or somebody who's made the all-NBA team in the past 3 seasons. So that's kind of a little bit comforting, I guess, if you're a Spurs fan, that you don't really have to worry about that because the rule doesn't apply to you. What are your thoughts on it?
And that allows the Spurs to rest Wemby a lot more often, too.
Yeah, it does.
If they want to. It doesn't really impact. He's not an all-star as of yet. And you hit it on the head. It doesn't really impact the Spurs as much. If anything, it's going to impact the Spurs in the sense of Spurs fans coming to see opposing teams and their star players. So, for example, let's just say Joe Garcia wants to see Joel Embiid, for the 76ers. And it's one of those nights where Joel Embiid is not playing. So it kind of, I heard the fines are steep, though, like $1 million, for the fines if teams don't abide by that rule. Yeah. But the NBA had to do something about it. I mean, last season was ridiculous. I mean, Dame Lillard sitting out the chunk of the back end of the season. You had, obviously the Spurs were doing the Spurs thing, and that was, tanking, race to the bottom. So it was just getting out of control. I mean, last year was really, really bad. There was another player, I think it was the Mavericks. One player from the Mavericks was out for an extended period of time. So all in all, if anything, they should just encourage teams to play their marquee players. Because if not, Joe, my goodness, can you imagine? Imagine if you're that kid. Let's just say you're that kid from, I don't know, from an outside, like you're from Serbia, Slovenia, where Luka Doncic is from, and you buy your tickets, you fly in, and then he sits out. And you go, oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to play. I'm going to see him again. I got 2 tickets. And then he sits out the next game. So hopefully this will help the fan base of the NBA be able to see their favorite players in action more often.
Yeah, Mikey Menace is here in the chat. He's saying if Pop doesn't play a healthy Wemby for a home game, fans are going to run Pop out of town. So they'll probably be mad.
Oh, well, yeah, they'll be mad. But even that topic will be divided too. You'll have team that's okay, let them rest. Team, I'm upset. Wemby's not playing, because historically everybody knows about players of that size and that frame don't last long in the NBA. So that's going to be something really to watch for this season, is the amount of rest time and the fan reaction. Look, we know at minimum 65 games he'll play. So that's 20 games they can play with for Wemby at least to have a case for the Rookie of the Year award. So there's a possibility those 20 games Wemby could not be in action.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show the screen as well here, because I'm showing some of the fines as we were talking about. And this is per Adrian Wojnarowski. And this is the fines that he was saying. Under the new rules, teams could be fined $100K for a first violation, $250K for a second violation, and $1 million more than the previous penalty for each additional violation. And that's what his sources are telling him. So that's it's trying to discredit, or discourage, so I say, teams from resting their star players on back-to-back nights. They're trying to rest both of their all-stars, because, fans pay good money to come out and see these players play in their respective hometowns. So by them not playing, it's kind of a disappointment, and it's a letdown, because you have these big, let's say, commercials that are being run prior to the game.
Yeah.
And it's a big billing. Hey, you're going to have LeBron versus, I don't know, Steph or something like that, Steph Curry. And then one of them doesn't play. So it's a big letdown. Hopefully they'll go ahead and curve that. But I was like, if the NBA is trying to put this into effect, don't they have to go ahead and run it through the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, the Players Association and all that? I guess they don't, because, again, Adrian Wojnarowski said that the NBA Board of Governors voted to go ahead and approve the new rules, strengthening the resting policy rules and punishments for stars that include national TV games and in-season tournament games, and sitting out multiple All-Star games together in the regular season.
It is interesting too, because Silver has been known as very pro player.
Yeah.
For Stern was very pro franchise owners. So for him to kind of take this stance against excessive rest days is pretty interesting. But I think something needed to be done. It's been getting out of hand, over the last few years.
Yeah.
Players not playing. I have a hangnail. Oh, I can't play. Sorry. So good on Silver to at least try to attempt. We'll see once it becomes official. The NBA has not made it official yet. There's been no official announcement. If the Players Association does push back, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, one of the things that came out of this as well is, okay, now that they've approved these new rules and it doesn't really apply to the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama could still win Rookie of the Year, even if he falls short of the 65-game requirement added by the new collective bargaining agreement. It says a player who fails to play 65 games during the regular season is ineligible for 5 awards, but all Rookie and Rookie of the Years are not included in that. This is per Bobby Marks. So the Spurs could, in fact,
really rest him.
Rest him,
Can you imagine?
Dude, getting around that loophole. Can you imagine?
40, half a season of Wemby. Just kidding.
Half a
Imagine that.
season. Oh man.
Half a season. Yeah.
And what if he still wins Rookie of the Year, even playing just half a season, right?
Oh yeah, they'll push back from collector of the NBA. Just imagine if a guy like Brandon Miller plays like 82 games and Wemby plays 40, and he
Jeez.
still wins it, and then it'll be an uproar.
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying that's how ridiculous the new rule is, I guess, when it comes to other teams and what they have as far as their players on their roster. Because while it's like trying to curb this, there's still going to be ways you can get around it. And when you have these rookies that are coming in, especially high picks that fans are still adamantly going to want to see, there's really nothing that the NBA can do against this because technically they're not all stars. They haven't made the NBA all NBA team yet. So the teams can rest them and they'd still be in the billing for the Rookie of the Year, even if they didn't play. They played under 65 games. So, teams are going to find ways to get around the loophole.
And I wonder if there's going to be teams that'll just eat the fine. Like I can see Mark Cuban eating the fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd be one, but like, whatever, Luka, you want to set another game? Fine, go for it. I'll pay the fine.
Oh, God. Look at what they have here. Tim Gonzalez says the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jeff Garcia, a.k.a. Moneybags.
What about it?
They're saying you're the new owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
And look at what they're saying here. It's Mike Bias says Victor is 19. No reason he should be on load management.
It's coming, Victor. I hate to break it to you. It's coming.
Victor Wembanyama, man. Hopefully he wins the Rookie of the Year this upcoming season. But you had also, me and you had a new episode that came out of Locked On Spurs, and we kind of talked a little bit about Jeremy Sohan, and we're talking about aspects of his game that he needed to improve upon.
So, that's when you were on,
Yeah, so make sure you check that out. And I just saw, too, that you just released a new episode of Locked On Spurs, and you had Abel on there as a fan episode. What did you all talk about?
Yeah, throughout the offseason and during the regular season, I usually bring in a fan to give them the mic, and we bring up topics that fans are talking about right now. And right now, some of the three things that fans are talking about is Pop's new deal, Wembanyama, of course, and ticket prices. So it's kind of funny you brought that up to start our chat here. And interesting enough, we really dive deep into the Pop talk, and he says that there's still a faction of fans that still want him to go. Like, we're not happy about him getting that 5-year deal. So he kind of reps the fan base on that aspect. And then ticket prices, we talked about that. We talked, we pretty much summed it up saying this is the price you pay when you get a megastar, a potential megastar, I should say, with Victor. So, and that he says that fans will bite the bullet and pay those high ticket costs in San Antonio. On the secondary market, the Spurs are one of the most expensive tickets to get right now.
It's kind of
on the secondary market.
It's kind of hard for me to believe that. Yeah, it's kind of
hard
for me to believe that because of how cheap ticket prices were last year. But I mean, it just shows you the Wemby effect when you wind up getting that number 1 overall pick, and then if somebody of Victor Wembanyama's caliber who's just gone international with his stardom, I mean, ticket prices are going to be at a premium.
That's the price you pay. That's that's the other side of the Wemby effect that people don't really talk about.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, too, because, they're going to have a lot of this, let's say, merchandise that's going to be on sale, especially during the upcoming Silver and Black scrimmage. They're going to have, like, exclusive merch. It's going to be limited edition stuff that's going to be coming out. And, of course, they're probably going to wind up selling everything at a premium price. Would you pay $50, $60 for a T-shirt? I don't think so, Jeff.
No way. No. And here's the thing, too, is that I can see fans starting to gripe maybe mid-season, and then think about this: if this is just ticket prices for regular season, let's just say they make the play in, you know how much tickets are going to be for that?
Oh, they're going to be going through the roof. You're probably not going to be able to buy a nosebleed ticket for no less than maybe $500, $600.
Man,
it's going to be bad.
You think it's going to be like that much?
I think it's going to be that much because think about it: the Spurs haven't been into a play-in game for a little bit here. They haven't made it to a playoff game in quite some time. And especially when you go ahead and you take into effect that if that in fact does happen and they're playing here in front of the hometown crowd, that ticket price is going to go skyrocketing through the roof. And if you're not a Spurs season ticket holder, you're going to be paying, on that secondary and third market and they can basically charge you whatever you want, whatever they want, and fans are going to pay it, you know?
Yeah. And like, I see the question on the chat from Joshua Jimenez. Secondary market means your Ticketmasters, your Vivid Seats, your StubHubs. That's the secondary market. So basically, Joe, what would be a primary market would be just the Spurs directly. That's pretty much what it means. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those secondary marketplaces are really gonna poke your eyes out, man. And think about it. Think of it to like a marquee game, like Chet Holmgren versus Wemby in San Antonio. Can you imagine?
Yeah. That's
gonna be pricey.
Speaking of pricey, man, it looks like the other day I saw that you said your parents found a relic, a collectible, a highly coveted collectible, and they're like, we're gonna throw it out. What was it?
So basically, they're cleaning out the garage and some of the old clothes, and they came across an old Spurs hockey jersey mashup.
Oh man!
And I forgot I had that, and it's from a real hockey jersey, not like like a replica. It's like a real hockey jersey, and they put on the Spurs logo in the front, I believe in the back. I totally forgot I had that. So if they read me the size, I go, yeah, I don't fit in that size anymore. Those years are long gone.
Probably like a medium or something, a large.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, I don't need it. And I was surprised, like some people didn't come out. Like I thought Josh Cook, who does the card collecting, I thought he would come out and get it or some of that. Because I mean, I just want to sell it at this point.
Yeah,
I just want to, because I'm never gonna wear it. But I have some people saying like, "Oh, make it a giveaway." I ain't gonna make that a giveaway on Los. Oh, sir.
Maybe just keep it, man. Maybe if you have like a niece or nephew or something, keep it for them when they get older.
Yeah, because they don't make those jerseys anymore.
No, they don't, man. So
they don't make those hockey Spurs jersey mashups anymore. And a few people are asking me how much, and they kind of back off. And I'm not trying to, empty somebody's wallet or bank account. It's just, it's a rare item.
Yeah, it's a collectible. Just like an Iguanas jersey would be worth something. You
think San Antonio will get a hockey team again?
Nah, I don't think so, man. I think they've tried that before, and the Spurs just didn't find it very profitable for them, and it was probably it's just more trouble than it's worth, because then they had to go ahead and maintain the hockey rink, and that calls to have somebody driving that Zamboni over there, kind of like, going ahead and putting down the ice and all that, then putting the court over the ice, and then taking that off again, putting it on again. I just think the Spurs, at the end of the day, they're like, nah, this is not working. We're not getting enough of the fan base to come out as I'd say, as they would
not getting revenue back. More
exactly, man. And I think they're just finding out they just made more money probably hosting concerts and whatnot there versus having the hockey team there.
I'll tell you this much though. The one thing that I think, this is not because I know anything, but just something in my experience with the NBA 2K League for a long time now.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be surprised if the Spurs dive into that. The NBA 2K League. The Spurs are one of a very few teams that don't have a 2K League team. The other teams are the Spurs, Houston, Chicago, the Clippers, the Pelicans, and then maybe there's like one other team. But the Spurs are just like one of very few teams that don't have a franchise. But with the new announcement that the NBA players can now promote the NBA 2K League, and Wembanyama has a deal with 2K Games, I'm not going to be surprised if maybe next season, or maybe so next season, meaning the NBA 2K League new season, like ahead of that new season, the Spurs announced that they put their toes into the NBA 2K League, because they started to a little bit. A few years ago, they have a partnership with a mobile gaming company based in Austin. So that was kind of like, okay, what's going on here? They have gone to NBA 2K Leagues years ago to scout it, to see if they want to get into it. And they got close. My sources told me they were so close to having a franchise, but they backed out because of the pandemic. But now the pandemic is over. Wembanyama has a deal with 2K Games. This new announcement. A lot of the Spurs players are big gamers, and not going to be surprised that we see Spurs Gaming Club soon.
Yeah, and the thing is that they do have a facility already that's in place. It's a Techport Arena. Yeah, I mean, it's fully state of the art. and they have a really nice setup over there, especially if you're going to host, let's say, tournaments. You have, a really nice
Yeah, they have the
venue.
facilities. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but it's complicated though, because take for example the Brooklyn Nets, their team, their headquarters and training facilities is inside Barclays Center, and I've been there several times. So the Spurs either would have to carve out section in the AT&T Center, or like you said, use Techport. Techport would probably be the best bet.
and I know that there's going to be another arena somewhere that they're building. I don't know where it was at. I think it was on the south side of town, where they're going to actually host
Isn't it
tournaments.
Techport though?
No, the Techport is more over here towards the southwest portion of San Antonio, because it's right here on the backside of the now defunct Kelly Air Force Base. So it's just a stone's throw away from me. It's probably like a 10 or 12-minute drive. If I get up here on Highway 151, it kind of turns into 90, and then you just exit right away there. And I mean, it's right there off on the access road. So yeah, man, I thought they were building another facility. I'm almost certain there was news about that being built somewhere on the south side of town over there by Brook City Base. So that would be another spot.
And San Antonio has produced a couple of NBA 2K League players already. There's the one that everybody knows, Seldom Mass, who's also a serviceman at JBSA.
Yeah.
He won the Amateur of the Year award a couple of years ago. Then there was another player from San Antonio. I believe he went to Jefferson. I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah.
But he went to a local high school. I'll just say it like that. And he was the first ever from San Antonio to make it to the NBA 2K League. So to me, just all the stars are lining up for the Spurs to finally dive in because, they're fun. If they're like that baseball thing, like baseball's fun, like more fun if you go to the game. Yeah. These games are more fun if you go to the arenas. But it's an investment though, because not only do you have to like pretty much open up a new franchise, that's what you're doing. You're opening in a franchise and having to get players and coaches and assistant coaches and GMs. Yes, I'm saying GM. They have GMs. You have to get uniforms. You have to get equipment. You have to house these kids, feed these kids, health benefits. You have to fly them to and from, as of right now, Washington, D.C., because that's where all the teams meet every single week. So that's airline and hotel. So it's expensive, man.
I bet. So it's really another team that you're taking on.
Yeah. It is. And so for me, just again, not based on anything, no source or anything, just me covering the league for so many years now, all the stars are lining up. And I think Wemby's going to push it over the top. I mean, Wemby with him doing the 2K endorsement, that's got to do it.
I think it'd be a good look for the San Antonio Spurs now that they have a healthy plethora of these younger players, and them being able to already be interested in playing NBA 2K and playing the other various sports games and, third-person shooters and all that kind of stuff that comes out. I'm sure they're going to be into that, that world of, sports, the sport athlete, venue, and going out there and seeing the tourneys and all that, especially the NBA 2K. If you have the players alongside the other team, which is going to be, if the San Antonio Spurs do get into that arena, it would be really neat to see how they spin that, the social media and all that kind of stuff, the videos. I mean, it'd be getting a lot of attention. And that's good for the city, because you're going to be able to showcase the city and have the players go out there and support the other, NBA 2K players that are now part of the San Antonio Spurs. If in fact that happens, probably with hopefully in the next season or two.
Yeah, season or two. Yeah. I kind of remember that last team that's not in it. So I know it's the Bulls, the Spurs, the Pelicans, the Clippers. I'm shocked with the Clippers because that's the Microsoft dude. What's the owner's name?
Bill Gates.
Name, but he's no. It's a different. Let me get that real fast. The Clippers owner.
You're talking about the Clippers owner. Yeah, he used to be part. I think it was of Microsoft, but he split up on his own. Yeah.
Steve Ballmer. There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Ballmer. Yeah, he's. He served with Microsoft from 2000 to 2014. Yeah. I'm surprised they're not in it, considering he sees like the tech side of things.
Yeah, no, man, they don't want Bill Gates anywhere near them right now because he's gotten in hot water over the course of the last year or two, man. So
the Pelicans. Yeah, see, the Pelicans are not in it. I know Houston. I'm sorry. Yeah, Houston is not in it because, believe it or not, that the franchise has another NBA 2K league in a different league. Like they have a team in a different 2K league, not the NBA's league.
Oh,
So
they were
we'll see
asking.
that.
Somebody over here is asking real quick. Put in the chat. Wiki One watching us from YouTube. He's saying, did Devin Brown ever make it to the 2K league? I don't think they ever had Devin Brown. In 2K, I want to say, did they? I'm not sure if they did.
Well, here's another thing too. You know who owns an entire esports franchise, like an entire association?
No, really? Who?
Fabrizio Berto.
Really?
He's a big time gamer. I interviewed him a few years ago about this, and he owns and he plays for a esports company that he owns in Argentina. Yeah,
Fabrizio.
Yep.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah, he's a big time gamer. He loves it. So Tony Parker is heavily invested too in esports.
Yeah, I saw that too. And I mean, he already has his investments in some of the other in another EuroLeague team that we saw over there, where Victor Wembanyama briefly played, and then he went and played for Boris Diaw's team.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see. This is all just speculation. And on my part, I'm just seeing. I'm just reading the tea leaves right now. Like, everything just tells me that it's possible, more likely than ever, for the Spurs to jump into the NBA 2K League, and I hope they do.
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if they asked me like, "How does this all work?"
So, for real, right? How does it
work?
Like,
where do I begin? I'm like, geez, like the vernacular, like going green and reload and all this stuff. So it's like a whole other world, man.
Just don't get you near the tech, man, because everything will start catching fire.
Man, can you imagine
the
first game of the Spurs and I'm there and the Spurs gaming and it blows up?
I'm gonna tell him, make sure
controller blows up.
Get him far away from the players and the equipment. That's what they need to do. They say you need to sit him as far away from all this as possible, because Jeff and Tech don't mix.
Don't mix, whatever. Imagine me walking into Techport Center, like,
jeez,
yeah, like the Wi-Fi goes out or something.
The power will probably go out or something.
The power goes out, yeah.
And just because you step foot in there.
Yeah. But no, a lot of stuff going on. Got to go already, but we got a new episode of Locked On Spurs fan episode. It's out right now.
Yeah, with Abel.
With Abel Dominguez. I submitted a new article about the UT Health Science San Antonio and the Spurs. Hopefully, Ken's 5 editors will get up on that quick, and then I have a couple other surprises down the road this week. I believe Locked On Spurs likely will be going back to 5 a week soon.
Jeez.
Very, very soon. I know. So we'll be going back to that.
We'll never hear from you again. You can be back on 5 a day.
Oh man. Like, hey, as long as we can just do it around this time and keep it audio only, it's doable.
Yeah.
But so the new season around, media day is next month. The scrimmage is next month. I cannot believe how fast time flies now.
Yeah, man, we're right against it already. It started training camp. Media day is going to be coming up. I mean, October, before you know it, is going to be here, and they're already going to be showcasing, the Spurs and their preseason play. So, I mean, it's here, man. It's already, for all intents and purposes, the NBA season is like literally 2-3 weeks away,
Well, and NBA season, it really never ends.
No.
There's always something going on.
Always.
Good or bad. Always something good or bad. But, Joe, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time. I got to get back to work.
Yeah.
And, everybody said hello. I'll stay away from Tech. I won't never go away. I'm surprised your pad never blows up when I'm there.
I know, man. Well, I mean,
it's more because you're there. That's why. So we canceled it out.
I got all my stuff fortified, man. I don't run cheap stuff here, man. We're running state of the art stuff, All
right, buddy, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Jeff. Talk to you later, man. Thanks. Bye. And make sure you go and follow Jeff Garcia, should I say, on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone, where you can go ahead and check out all the great content that he has, your daily Spurs content. And we'll go ahead and share the little ad read here for Jeff. Let me go ahead and take down his picture so I can go ahead and get that started up for us here. I was going to play his intro, but I forgot to go ahead and do that. So we at least got to go ahead and do the Locked On Spurs. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/at Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, so make sure you go and check that out, and make sure you check out the Locked On Spurs podcast, the podcast on the YouTube, and subscribe to their YouTube channel as well. And another thing that we're going to be adding here, we've already started, I think it was like this last week, now being part of the Alamo City Podcast Network is my own podcast, Two Shots Podcast, where we talk about San Antonio Spurs basketball. Sometimes we talk a little bit about some other sports and, of course, entertainment, pop culture news as well. We went ahead and put the inaugural episode out here on this platform, the Alamo City Podcast Network. So make sure you check that out. It is available on our YouTube channel. And again, we greatly encourage and appreciate if you can go ahead and give us a follow and subscribe to our channel. Any little bit helps. And we're trying to get to the 1,000 subscriber magic number so we can go ahead and become a fully monetized channel. On Friday, I'm going to make an announcement. We have some changes coming up to the show that are going to be going into effect starting next week. While I love doing the show 5 days a week with you guys, I got to say, man, trying to run the show all by myself and do everything all together here, do the producing, do the show and all that, it's taxing, man. It's a drain on me physically. I get tired because I have to wake up so early to get this, all set up so we can go ahead and do the show. So I might be dialing back a day or two. So we're going to go to make that announcement and let you guys know what we're working on come next week. And we might have an additional show being added on as well. So we have some things that we're really excited about and we're really working on. And we might even have my good friends here from the Countdown City Geekcast coming on and helping us with another show as well. So we're in the talks right now about some new things, some diversity that we're going to bring to the Alamo City Podcast Network here, which is good for everybody. Because who wants to just see my ugly mug all the time or listen to Mikey Menace, So we're going to have some diversity being added on here, some new shows for you guys to tune in and look at and have some fun with. But either way, we're looking forward to rolling these things out. So before we go ahead and start bringing the show to a close, I'm going to go ahead and read another ad read from here, our good friend and sponsor from day number one, and that has been J-Par Real Estate. J-Par Real Estate has been a proud sponsor of ours since day one. Check out Cynthia J. Sanchez. Her reviews can't be wrong because all of the people that she sells homes to, they give her 5 stars and say that she is prompt, that she is understanding, that she communicates well, that she calls back, that she answers questions correctly. And yes, they say that she is good at what she does. If you are in the market to buy a home, sell a home, whether it be a rental property, primary residence, or Airbnb, reach out to Cynthia J. Sanchez from J-Par Real Estate. Her number is 210-273-0748. She has 16 years of experience in real estate and is a former claims adjuster with USAA, so she knows what she's looking for when she's showing you those pre-owned homes. Give Cynthia J. Sanchez a call at 210-273-0748 for all your real estate needs. There you go. Make sure you do call Cynthia J. Sanchez. She's really good at what she does. So if you're looking to go ahead and buy a home, sell a home, or even go ahead and get into a rental property, make sure you give her a call at 210-273-0748. Let's go ahead and pop in the chat real quick as we're starting to bring things to a close here. Yeah. Tim Gonzalez says, bring CT. I didn't say she wasn't going to be part of this. She still might be. Even if we're not doing, let's say, Tuesdays or something like that nature, she'll still be involved. I'll still bring her on. She's a friend of mine, and I've already talked to her about some things behind the scenes as well. So, yeah, definitely CT will be involved in what we're doing in some capacity. Yeah, I mean, I've known her for over 6 years. Me and her and Guylan used to do Spurs React with Chris Duell back in the day over at the iHeart Radio station there for WOAI 1200. So we've been friends since then, man. So she'll still be a part of this show no matter what we do. And look at Mike Baez. Need some help, Joe? I do need help, bro. I do. Feel like I'm doing everything by myself right now, you know. I have to wake up quite early, though, man. I wake up like at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I got to go drop off kids at school and stuff. Come back home, I'm lucky if I get something to eat. Sometimes I might have like a little protein shake or something. Sit down, look at topics, get the topics ready for the show, get the graphics, get everything ready, set up the the guests that we're going to have on and whatnot, and being able to run the show. And it's kind of like looking left and right at the same time, because there's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. When I'm here, I have like huge monitors in front of me, so I have to have all these tabs open on one side. I have to have another system open. I'm looking at your comments here, and I want to make sure that I'm putting everybody's comments up here, because I don't want to make anybody feel left out. And I really greatly do appreciate everybody who's watching and interacts with us. So I'm doing everything. That's why I'm not always looking at the camera here, because I got things everywhere else, man. So I'm telling you guys, man, I do it because I love doing it, man. And there's no excuse like, oh, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this show. It don't matter, dude. If I'm tired, I'm still doing this thing. I got 2 hours sleep, still doing this thing. It don't matter, man. But at some point, I gotta be able to breathe a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna be working on some things. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, stay tuned, man. We're gonna make some announcements on Friday, and we're gonna have Mike Jimenez in studio with us on Friday as well. So we're gonna probably have him do a movie review or something of that nature. I'm gonna get with him today to see what he wants to review as far as the nostalgia effect, his old school movies. We're keeping him away from Transformers, the original OG movie from back in the day. He's never allowed to touch that one. But maybe I'll give him something else. Anybody got a recommendation of a movie that we can give Mike, get Mike to go ahead and watch? I was thinking of actually tell him to watch like The Golden Child or something from back in the 80s and see what he thinks about it. I bet you he hates it, man, because he didn't like Big Trouble in Little China. He said that was garbage. His exact words. The cult classic, man. He seems like he doesn't like good movies. But that's that's just me. And as before we go ahead and end this episode, let's go ahead and give another shout out to one of our other sponsors here, which is Serenity Manor. Serenity Manor is an events venue located at 14405 Old Bandera Road, across from Flores Country Store, set in a historic building that is over 100 years old. You can have a baby shower, bridal showers, quinceañeras, sweet 16s, corporate events, weddings. There's an indoor and outdoor venue with a dance floor and a sand volleyball court out in the back, set under the shade of the trees, and there is beautiful lighting in the evenings. Serenity Manor is a very beautiful place that is very family-oriented, and they have rotating Thursday nights. They have karaoke and game nights. They also have a bar that serves beer, wine, and margaritas. So after a concert at Flores Country Store, you can go over, diagonal across the street, catty corner, grab a beer, get away from the crowd, and check out the beautiful Serenity Manor. So make sure you guys go and check out Serenity Manor. Again, their address is 14405 Old Bandera Road in Lotus, Texas. They are right across the street, catty corner from Flores Country Store. Best thing about that is if you're out there taking in a concert at Flores Country Store, you can pop into Serenity Manor after the concert and grab yourself a beer, so you don't have to go drive somewhere else and then contend with the big line of people. So you can go ahead and get yourself one last drink before you hit the road. So make sure you go and check them out. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's show. Again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in and putting up with me and Jeff Garcia. Look at Tim Gonzalez says, the voice of the voices, Chris Leja, hosts the show. I will get Chris Leja in here. I told him I'm going to go ahead and bring him into the studio. It's going to be fun to have him and our other boy, Spernandez, when he's in town, to come in here and talk sports and everything else, because Spernandez is the number one necio in San Antonio, and he grew up in my old haunts here in the Marbach area. We'll talk to you and tell you some tales from the duck pond over here by Marbach. Look, Mike Baez, can you imagine what the Dan Levitard show goes through? I can only imagine, dude. That dude's been through a lot of stuff already. What does he say? Baez, Leja hosting the show, man. This show will get rated R. Go rated R. It probably will, but it'd be fun nonetheless, man. So we are going to go ahead and start reaching out to some of the fan base here and see if we can go ahead and get you guys either in studio, or we can go ahead and bring you on via some, phone call or something, just like I did Jeff. But again, that's all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. And like we always say, man, we'll see you boys later. We're out now. Peace.